Okay, welcome everybody to the Morgellons call of the week. It is December 13th, and this call is being recorded live and will be available on YouTube. My name is Robin. I'm from Western Mass, and I am the co-host. And I have suffered from resilient mites, springtails, Morgellons. It was 3.5 years before I found Richard and his book as an answer to prayer, and following the protocols and getting the support from this group helped me to get my life back. And then, you know, I made a careless mistake, got reinfested, and I'm at the tail end of that. But again, it's the support of this group and the protocols, and especially the diet, that are getting me through it. So this call is a place for inspiration. His book is a guidebook, a reference book. You can fill it with Post-it notes, read it multiple times. You can bring your questions here to this call. Richard, unlike most authors, has as more information comes to light, because most people don't know anything about Morgellons, he makes new editions of the book. So most recently, he just released the 10th edition of the book, and it is based on his personal experience. He had Lyme disease, he had Morgellons, he had springtails, he had, he struggled with a lot of these things. He found the diet through trial and error over a period of 2 years, discovering by keeping a diary and finding which foods activated parasites in his body and which foods didn't. So, he has been through it here in the trenches with all of us, and he's here to help. So I would like to, at this time, welcome Richard, if he's here, because I don't
I am here.
Okay,
Thank you,
great.
Robin.
Thank you, Richard.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody today? We're glad to be alive in this day of COVID-19. Robin has gone through it many months ago, and we just have to thank every day that we get through it and are unaffected by it. So thank you. We're here today. What brings next week, we don't know, but we're here today. And
that's right.
We have been doing this program for over a year. Just recently, within the last couple of months, we've been video recording it and uploading it to YouTube, where you can see it a little bit later on in the week. At the end of the program, later on tonight, I'll send out an email where if you missed something that was said or wanted to go through it again, you'll be able to watch it on our servers for a few days before it's uploaded to YouTube. So we usually start out with a topic of the day. The topic can range from the importance of the diet to the importance of reading the book to cofactors like EMF, fungal issues, and things of that nature. During the week, I had received an email from a lady who's in real big trouble. Having these parasites, as Robin shared, I've dealt with Lyme disease, Morgellons, columbella, skin fungus, hot tub rash, and I've been in the trench. I've been in the swamp. It's a miserable swamp, and terrible swamp. And some of you, if you've been coming back or getting out of the swamp, as Robin has gotten out and is getting out once again, we're never immune to ever being affected. So because you get your life back, and it's wonderful, it is a wonderful feeling to be normal again, doesn't mean you can't get reinfected at some time in the future. A simple thing like, in Robin's experience, getting some Christmas ornaments out of a box that wasn't disinfected. What's that Greek mythology, Pandora. Yeah, Pandora's box.
Yeah, Pandora's box. That's
you
right.
opened that box and all hell broke loose.
That's
so
right.
It can be from something like that. It can be from taking some clothing out of storage that wasn't disinfected properly before you put it away, and putting it on, and then within 5 minutes, it's all hell breaking loose again. It could be from going out. I mean, these organisms are everywhere, and people pick them up everywhere. Some people have picked them up in a beauty parlor by sitting on a chair that was infested, or the person perhaps doing the work is infected and doesn't know that they're contagious. You can catch these organisms sitting in an airplane seat. So it's unlikely that anybody's ever going to get through life without coming in contact with these organisms. The only good news is that not all of us are susceptible to them. But if you're on this call, the bad news is that many of us are, and you're one of them that are susceptible to these organisms. So once you have the organisms, the protocols are pretty straightforward. The book is ABC. I mean, okay, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Well, Chapter 1 is about my personal experience, the hell that I went through, so that once you read that chapter, you'll know that you're at the right place, that I've been there. I should know what I'm talking about, having gone through it. And I've done all the research, as many of you have. I've taken specimens to the doctor, which I since learned is a bad thing to do. Not a bad thing. It's just a stupid thing to do, because you get laughed at and declared delusional is typically what happens when you take your samples to the doctor. He doesn't know what to do with them. So Chapter 2 is about the different organisms, what tests are available, and the answer to that is none. There are no lab tests available. You can't send the sample off to Quest Labs or anywhere else and get a diagnosis, except if you have strongyloides. Yeah, that's one that I missed mentioning. I also went through the trenches with strongyloides. So that one can be tested, and there are specific symptoms associated with it. The interesting thing, though, about just briefly strongyloides is that itching of the skin and biting sensations, neither are symptoms of strongyloides. So, but many people do have strongyloides. They seem it's a parasite. You can look up the life cycle on the CDC. It's a tiny worm. It has a cycle inside the body and outside the body. It can be easily given to somebody else with skin contact, just as Morgellons, just as Columbella, just as skin fungus, just as even hot tub rash. All these organisms can be transferred from body contact. Okay, so you go through Chapter 2 and you look at, the bottom line is you're looking for symptoms. You know, there's no test. You're looking for symptoms, and that's what Chapter 2 is about, to give you an idea of what the different symptomatology is of the different organisms, and maybe where some of them have come from, the origin or the source, or some of the theories that are involved, whether it be chemtrails or patented organisms of some nature. Those theories are discussed in Chapter 2. Chapter 3 is the meat of the program, and Chapter 4. Chapter 3 is about how to clean them out of your environment. Now we are in the swamp, and getting them out of your environment is hell. And the ideal situation is if you have a spouse that is either infected or supportive. If you have a spouse that is either infected and acknowledges the problem and works with you with the protocol, works with you in the diet, works with you and helps with the disinfecting and the bathing, and you go through the program together, that's wonderful. You're supportive of each other. The alternative would be to have a spouse or a significant other who recognizes that you do have a real problem and is helpful and helps you out with the diet and helps you with the protocols and is there for you. Now we go down the road and we go to areas that are not so supportive. So, well, the living alone isn't too bad either. That you can control pretty well. So that would be the third option, would be living alone and doing it yourself. Well, at least you have control of your environment, you have control of your diet, and control of your skin cleaning, bathing, and what you do to get them out of your skin. Now we move into an area where you might have a spouse who is somewhat symptomatic, has sores and lesions, not too much itching, and says it's all in your head. They have no problem. They just have this eczema or dermatitis issue, and your issues, they're your problem. And then the worst area would be that if you have a whole family, multitude of people you're living with, and nobody else is infected, and you're in this all by yourself, you got to do your own cooking, you got to do your own cleaning, and many of them might be carriers. They may, if they're symptomatic, then they have rashes or they have itching and they have lesions that come and go on their bodies. They most likely are symptomatic, carriers. And that's probably the worst situation, and there are some people on this call that are probably in that situation. So I hope you've gotten or written down Chris's phone number, because we don't really have an answer. Rob and I don't have an answer, although some of these people, you see, they may have gone to the doctor with you, and that's nice, and they may have been in the doctor's office with you, and the doctor has said, well, there's nothing wrong with you. You have delusions of parasites, a psychological problem. Well, doctors are almighty gods, what they say goes, how could they be wrong? They've spent years and years in college, and they've gone through their internships, and they've seen all kinds of problems. They must know what they're talking about. And so, this is the iatrogenic effect in a sense, in that your spouse or your beloved one who's there with you, there to support you, hears this information, and now, they take the side of the doctor. Must be something wrong with you, especially if you've ever had any introduction or ever done any illicit drugs. That's the first thing, and that's what doctors often say. You're a drug addict. You have a drug problem. So it gets passed off as delusional or a drug problem, and the unfortunate thing is your loved one is there, listens to it, and believes the doctor. So when you look for support, it's not there. Now, there are some things that you can do if they are open, and that is buy a copy of Dr. Saverly's book. Just go on Amazon and search for Morgellons books. Her book will pop up number 1. It's called Morgellons, The Legitimization of a Disease. It is all about Morgellons. She has been in practice for over 20 years. She is a part of the Morgellons Foundation, but there's a book. It's a real book, and it identifies it and tells people exactly what the symptoms are. Filaments or fibers growing from your skin. So you can point out these filaments and fibers growing from your skin. Now, if you're unfortunately only dealing with columbella and do not have filaments or fibers growing from your skin, well, you're out in the dark, because her book does not get into that at all. And if the filaments or fibers are there, you're stuck. And that's very unfortunate in that regard. So I hope you copied down Chris's number. And there are some other things. Robin, you were telling me about some things that we have on the blog that they could also read.
Yes, I found them early on when I first started coming to the call and getting your emails. And in Richard's blog and the the website for the blog is bestmorgellonscure.com. That's Morgellons plural, bestmorgellonscure.com, and you can search for topics on the blog. And I actually downloaded an article by the NIH, National Institute of Health. It's called Morgellons from Delusion to Diagnosis. It's a really good article, and I sent it to everyone in my family who wanted me to see a psychiatrist and a neurologist and entomologist and psychologists, and they just, total disbelief. And I sent them this article. I sent them Dr. Savely's book. I sent them Richard's book, and I sent them a couple other articles also that I found. I sent them articles about the bacteria that causes Morgellons. I sent them interviews with a microbiologist from Canada who looked inside the filaments and found Bartonella spirochetes. I sent them all of this stuff, and it's all available through the blog, or you could text me later and email me, and I will send you copies. I saved all this stuff to my computer, and I found that instead of trying to frantically convince people, I just send them these articles and interviews, and when they take the time to look at it, it changes their mind. And all of a sudden I have a supportive family, which, it was like overnight. They went from you're crazy, to how can we help? And I'm so grateful for that, because it's isolating enough. This disease is isolating. The pandemic is isolating. And to be not even able to talk to your family is terrible when you're going through this. So I'm really grateful that Richard found these resources initially, and I saved them, and I sent them to my family. I highly encourage you. There's a whole chapter in Richard's book about things you can bring to the doctor, studies, what you can say to doctors. If you have a doctor that's open-minded and wants to try to help you, even if they don't know a lot. So, it isn't hopeless. It's just not easy. But nothing's easy in dealing with this disease. So, yeah. And it's true. Supportive family is priceless. Absolutely.
Thank you, Robin.
The NIH, National Institute of Health, carries a lot of weight. So use those resources. Yes, you can leave my book laying around, let them pick it up and read it. It might help. But I'm not a doctor. I'm what's called a layperson. So when the educated physicians and experts look at my credentials, well, they don't take into account experience, because my experience can't exist. It can't, because these organisms in their mind don't exist. So I must have written the whole book from fantasy, in a sense. So,
or it's just anecdotal experience, is what
yes,
they call
an anecdotal,
it.
right. Anyway, so if you'd like to share, before we, please do text Chris or text Robin, and we'll open the line for you to share. Share how you've been dealing with it. If you have an unsupportive family, what you've been doing. We're not here to give advice to other people, but certainly if you've found a way of dealing with it more effectively, we're here to learn. That's what we're about. We're here to learn and to pass that along. Later on, after the recording stops, we'll exchange phone numbers through our buddy coach. We'll give you those instructions, and you can communicate with someone else who is in a similar boat and be supportive of each other.
I have not gotten any text yet. So.
And neither has Chris.
No, I didn't get any either.
Well,
So don't be shy, guys.
Give the phone number. This call is for you.
732-272-7952. 732-272-7952.
Yes, unless you call in, there's going to be a very short call today. We usually go to 6:30.
Yeah. Or you can text me at 413-441-5185.
So while they're getting ready to text us, and the FDA requires me to inform everybody that is on the call today is that neither I, Robin, Ethel, Barbara, our buddy coach, or Sandra, our medical doctors. None of us, before you accept any of our recommendations or start the King diet, you're to discuss the recommendations and the diet thoroughly with your doctor to make sure they don't interfere with any health problems you're presently experiencing. The AMA and FDA also require me to inform everyone that we are not here to cure, to treat, or even diagnose any physical condition. We're not here to mitigate any disease. So what are we here for? Well, we're here to educate you how to clean these organisms out of your environment through various methods of disinfection, getting them out of your bedding, your laundry, your living room, your automobile, your bathroom, out of your crawl space if necessary, out of your attic if necessary. We're here to instruct you how to clean them out of your skin through the bathing and use of creams or gels that you have available that bring them up to the surface so you can get rid of them. We're here to instruct you how to cleanse them out of your body internally. So that's our purpose, to educate you how to clean them out of your environment, your skin, and out of your body, and to introduce you to targeted supplements that build your health and immune functioning. That is what we're here for. So, has nobody texted in?
Not yet. Nope. Yes, Andrea has texted me. She said she thinks it's hard to share this experience because we're sad and ashamed at the same time that our family isn't supporting us, and that our doctors think we're crazy. Yeah, it's a very hard situation. I understand that. And but that's why, at least here on this call, nobody thinks you're crazy, and we're here to support one another, because we know that it's true. Looks like I do have one text coming in. This is just a general question. And this was AC, the winner of the doodle contest. And,
all right.
And she said she's not feeling the biting and itching lately, but she has floaters in her eyes. Do you have any suggestions for supplements or herbal remedies?
Time. I once heard a chiropractor giving a talk, and it was titled TTT, Things Take Time. So if you're on the protocol and you're doing it right, in the past I've shared, I know what the floaters are. They're big as Mack trucks. Sometimes you have difficulty differentiating if you're looking at a floater or something in front of you. They're big, they're huge, they're very intrusive.
Right.
Time. That's it. Time.
Well, also, I mean, I think, yeah, I developed terrible floaters, and they came on all of a sudden. I mean, in the beginning when I didn't know I had Morgellons, and I couldn't walk through a room because I'd bump into things because I couldn't tell what was there and what was, like, blocking my vision. But as I learned about things, you know, I used the Colloidal Silver every 15 minutes for like 3 days to get them out of my eyes. I also had prescriptions for eye antibiotics from my eye doctor because I developed a terrible eye infection from the parasites, even though he didn't think it was the parasites. He said, you should never have this kind of infection. People, it's really rare, but, and he gave me prescriptions for antibiotics for my eyes that helped tremendously. And the diet helped tremendously. And the other thing that helped me, so they were pretty much all gone except for one lingering floater in my right eye. And, you know, I found Rife frequencies on YouTube. I actually ended up buying a Rife machine, but they have frequencies that are free that you can listen to, Spooky to Rife. It's spooky and the number 2. And they had frequencies for floaters, and I listened to them for like 2 days, and I haven't had a floater since then. So, you know, I listened to a lot of different frequencies testing it out, and I had great results, even though the frequencies aren't as powerful when you listen to them on a computer with headphones as through the actual machines, because they run at a faster frequency from the machines. You can't even hear them. But anyway, yeah. So that's what I did for floaters, and it does take time.
You can let them take their time, and they will go away. Or Chapter 6 of the book has like about 6 or 7 different things, colloidal silver being one of them. In our store, we do have 10 part per million colloidal silver available. You can use very diluted Nature's Gift with in an eye wash, but you need to use the saline water. You don't want to just use distilled water. You want to use saline water. Maybe 1 drop is all you would do, the 50%. So there are things that you can do to speed the process along, but things take time. They do go away. The main important thing is to focus on getting the diet down right and the disinfection. Those are the important things. They're going to pay off big dividends along the way.
I have another question. Yeah,
yes.
From Jen. She wants to know. Actually, it's 3 questions. Question number 1: do you think Morgellons makes us more susceptible to tapeworms?
No, I don't think the tapeworms, probably many of us have them. And if you suspect tapeworms, it's a stool analysis that you need to get. It can be identified. Fenbenzidol is somewhat effective against some of them, but the medication, it's a special medication, Paraxidol or something of that nature. I could look it up. Would be what you would use, but again, that would be prescribed by a physician, and you would get a test. We recommend going after internal parasites with diatomaceous earth, consuming our mouthwash, and fenbenzidol as a pretty rounded approach. And like I said, it takes care of everything but a few varieties of tapeworms. But if you suspect them, get a stool analysis done.
Right. And last week we went over the food-grade diatomaceous earth protocol. You can look up the video on YouTube and listen to it, find the part that was talking about that. The next question, Richard, do you think seeing Dr. Savely could get someone into remission along with the diet?
Well, seeing Dr. Savely would, if it's affordable and you can do it, or you could actually have your doctor contact her, and she could, in her book she offers to communicate with your doctor and give him the protocol. The protocol that she has is actually in the book. If you look up Dr. Savely in my book, it gives you the medications that she uses and everything that she uses. So you would get your doctor to go along with that, or call her direct to get any details that may not be there. Absolutely. The strange thing is you probably won't need the diet. You probably won't even have to disinfect. You probably won't have to do any of this stuff if you're doing that. And you might say, well, why do I want to screw around with this diet and disinfecting? And, well, bottom line is when you come off of those meds, there's nothing to protect you. They're still in your house. And all hell, I went through the meds. I did it. And it's wonderful. Back then when I went through the meds, it was Zithromax, Biaxin, and Bactrim, along with a antifungal. And they worked. But
right, but not on the environment.
Yeah, they don't work on your environment. So the other thing that we're working on, and I don't know if Barbara's on the call today, our buddy coach, but she's working on a formula of herbs that have a tendency to turn off the attractor factor. We got into this by looking at our goal is to reduce dopamine uptake in the brain, and so things are looking promising, and hopefully sometime maybe by the end of January we may have something actually available that people can get and use to make life a lot easier as well.
I have one more question. Also, the medicine for tapeworms is praziquantel, and you really need to go through a doctor for that. Do you recommend a certain colloidal silver? And what were the antibiotics that helped resolve the floaters? So Richard has a colloidal silver at the store that he sells, and
it's 10 parts per million. And if you look, you can find higher parts per million. We can make it 50 parts per million. But bottom line is 10 parts per million. Sovereign silver is 10 parts per million. It's, top of the line silver. Then they're all made the same.
Right, and that's what I used. It was fine. The antibiotics that I used for my eye that the doctor prescribed, one of them was erythromycin for eyes. It's an eye antibiotic, and you can only get it from an eye doctor. The other one was a liquid, and I cannot remember the name, but it was a little bit stronger. They both worked really well. It's just if you get a doctor to prescribe those, you want to put Vaseline around your eyes because it pushes the parasites out of your eyes and into your face. So you want the Vaseline is thick. You want, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people. That's a tremendous tip because a lot of people report that the parasites migrate from one area to another. Like, for instance, they might have the parasites in one area of their head, and they're working on it, and finally get that parasite loose, and the parasite comes out, just migrates down to another area, goes, and it's just a continuing saga. And that's a tremendous tip there, Robin, is to, if you're working on an area where you suspect this is going to happen, put the Vaseline around it. So when that parasite comes out, it's going to get trapped in the Vaseline. It's sort of like
right, even like if you're working on hair and you have something tight around your head, be it a bathing cap or a plastic bag or a cancer cap, you can line where the bag or hot ends with Vaseline or Vicks, because they also hate menthol smelling things. Just like line the edges.
That tip alone is worth tuning into this call. Thanks, Robin.
Yeah.
Robin and I don't have all the answers, but we have probably a lot more than many do.
Right.
Any other questions out there before we talk about stress?
I wanted to mention one thing. You touched upon Dr. Savely, how she doesn't believe it's in the environment and you can get it that way, and that's a big deal, because I think it's easy if you get the diet right and you're doing the baths and you're using stuff on your skin. It's not that hard to get them out of your skin, I don't think. I think the biggest challenge is cleansing and disinfecting the environment. And without that,
it's a super challenge, and it's unfortunate. I don't know if she lacks the information or she just wanted to keep this thing pure as a disease. But she basically says anybody that is trying to sell you disinfecting stuff is a con artist trying to rip you off, and so that means we're con artists in her eyes, because they're in the environment, they're out there. And in fact, in the summertime, and where I live in a wooded area. Sometimes I have to wear riding boots outside during the summer, because otherwise they're going to jump on my ankles. And the riding boots are what keeps me free.
Right.
Well, let's talk about stress, and maybe during this. While we do this, someone will text Chris. It's interesting. 2 weeks ago, Chris's phone expired, and people were trying to text him. Now nobody's texting him, and his phone line is active. So,
well, one person texted me that they wanted to speak, and I told them they had to reach Chris to get unmuted. So,
well, all you have to do is give them what's the last four digits of their number.
Well, I just texted Chris the information, so hopefully he will unmute. Good. Tyler. Yeah. But I don't think he has yet. Because people can't unmute themselves at this point in the call. So, but I haven't got...
Yeah, and until Chris finds Tyler and unmutes him, let's talk about stress. Why do we talk about managing stress? Because I'd say it's darn near impossible for anybody to be on this call that has not been depressed or angry because they can't get results from the doctor or anywhere. Angry because there's so many conflicting points of view, even on the internet. Everybody's an expert. Uncertain. I mean, I mentioned earlier, with COVID-19, we have all this uncertainty. We don't know whether we're going to be here next week. I don't know whether I'll be in ICU or not next week or alive. We don't know. And with these organisms, that has been 24/7. You don't know how to get rid of them or if you're ever going to get rid of them. Uncertainty is an emotion. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year until it's resolved. It's a low-level emotion, but it's there. It's not a high level like anger or depression. It's a low level. It all is cumulative. Stress. Well, if you look at the human body, there's a homeostatic level. Homeostasis is balance. Balance between being activated and being deactivated. There's the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. When you are asleep, hopefully, that's when the parasympathetic nervous system is in place. but not everybody's sleep is even relaxed. Many people have. So what we do is we adapt to higher and higher and higher and higher and higher levels of stress, and our homeostatic level keeps going up and up. And when our homeostatic level keeps up and up, hormones are circulating through our body, having us ready to fight or run. But there's nothing to fight or run from. We're just in ever-increasing heightened alert, ever-increasingly heightened alert for the danger. And there's nothing to fight, nothing to run from, which means our body is producing adrenaline, noradrenaline, and cortisol. And cortisol is a fight or flight hormone that dumps blood sugar. Well, it converts the fat into sugar into the blood and actually activates the parasites. Makes us have more parasitic activity.
Sugar.
Feeds the parasites. So this is why we look at stress management, to get that homeostatic level down a little bit so that we can sleep. I mean, gosh, for me, the first night after maybe a couple of years that I could sleep through the entire night, it was like gold. I couldn't believe it. I thought I'd never have another peaceful night of sleep in my entire life, or I wasn't awakened at 3 a.m. with these organisms in my crotch or somewhere else in my body, in my head, driving me crazy, driving me to a scalding bath to get some kind of temporary relief, and then change the sheets. Night after night after night. This is stress. And it becomes a self-propelling problem in that the stress keeps us further parasitically activated. So what do we do to manage stress? This is important. And there are different techniques that can be used very quickly. And I'm going to turn it over to Robin, and she's going to pick out one of them that we typically use. So go to it. Which would you like to do, Robin?
Let's do tapping.
You read my mind.
I mean,
now,
I like
tapping, you want to watch this video to make sure you're doing it right, because I heard Robin and I heard the gal that introduced it to us, Claudia of Claudia's Dream Cream, go through with the telephone, and I saw everybody when I sent out the update. It has a chart with it for the tapping, and I never really knew what it exactly was until I watched the video and saw Robin going through it. So if you are not exactly sure of how to follow the chart or exactly what Robin's talking about, then please watch the video so that you know how to do it correctly. Not that doing it incorrectly is going to be a problem. Anything that you do is better than nothing. But, okay, Robin, all yours.
Okay, so the thing that I like about tapping, I mean, deep breathing calms you in a very general way. It lowers your blood pressure, but tapping deals with specific issues that are stressing you out. So, and I like that a lot because I have lots of specific issues. So I want you to pick one issue, one thing that you are stressed about, and give it a rating, with 10 being the absolute worst and 1 being the lowest, okay? And remember that number so that, because we're going to try and lower that number. And you can do this over and over with the same thing and move that number lower and lower until you're not stressed about that thing, or you can do it over and over with a variety of things that are causing you stress. Now, we're going to tap in different places. We're going to take one hand and we can tap. It's like a karate chop against our other hand, a gentle karate chop, or it can be on the edge of a chair or a table or your arm. That's the first thing we're going to do. Then we're going to take 2 fingers, our first and second fingers of each hand, and we're going to tap the top of our head, above our eyebrows, the side of our eyes, under our nose, our chin, and under our neck, and then right there, it should be a little sore, and we're going to rub there. Okay, and we're going to tap each place 7 to 10 times. And I'm going to say sentences, and I want you to repeat them either out loud if you're muted or in your mind, okay? So first, think of the one thing that's stressing you out the most and give it a number. Okay, now I want you to take a cleansing breath. We're going to do the karate chop, and I want you to say, this situation is so hard, but I'm going to love and respect myself in the midst of it. And then we're going to tap the top of our head, and you're going to say, I hate this situation, but I'm going to love and respect myself in the midst of it. Above our eyebrows, the situation really stinks, but I am going to love and respect and trust myself in the midst of it. Under the eyes, no matter what happens, I am going to love and respect myself. No matter how bad things get, I am going to love and respect myself, which can cause a light to shine in the darkness. I hate this situation, but I love and respect myself in the middle of it. And then below the neck, and then just rub. Take a deep breath. And then if you have water nearby, because you're releasing toxins, horrible thoughts and anxiety release toxins, and this keep toxins in your body, and this releases them, and water helps flush them out. So now look at that number. Mine went from 10 to 7, which is pretty cool because it's been a huge number. It's been huge. So at this point, you know, if you want to talk about tapping and how it helped you, you can. I know Tyler's line is open and he's waiting to talk as well.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. Yeah, so I didn't really have any specific questions, but I know you wanted somebody to speak just to let people know that, you know, they're not alone or whatever. So I could kind of just say what I've been going through the last year, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
If that's okay.
Sure.
So I was living in New Jersey. I do HVAC, so I was definitely in and out of, you know, dirty, weird place spots or whatever. And I was married, and now after the year, it was tough trying to explain to her what was going on and what the gentleman was talking about earlier about she had like a couple symptoms. After a while, I went to like 15 doctors within the year, and nothing really helped. They did find a lot of yeast in one of the skin samples. That was about it that they saw. And so to jump forward now, I had to move back to Massachusetts. I still own my house. I'm still married, but it's pretty much looking like it's going to be a divorce probably because of, you know, what she went through the last year, along with other things, but I didn't treat her as well. I had a resentment, obviously, because she didn't believe me, and so it was rough with that area. And then now it's kind of like skin is like, I don't know if this has anything to do with, I have hemochromatosis as well, so that definitely I need to get fixed. So I'm in the process of trying to get doctors down here. I'm in Boston, so there's some good medical professionals or whatever. But I just wanted to know, So I know I have to get my iron overload taken care of. I do have anxiety and depression. I am a recovering addict. I've been sober for years now. But I wanted to know, like, what is, like, the initial step to get this, like, taken care of? Like, do I just go straight into it? Or, like, what's up with the supplements? I know I have to get my van cleaned, and I just bought the detergent online, too, because I tried, like, every single one, and I feel like it doesn't work.
That's a longer conversation, but do you have the book, Tyler?
I do have the book. I can't say that I've read the whole entire thing, but
that's okay. You can use it, but the most important thing to start with is the diet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the diet will kick if you do it right and get past making mistakes, which is easy to make mistakes because you have to read every label.
Yeah.
The diet will calm your body down tremendously, and that gives you
definitely not good either. And my urine is like really cloudy, like everything's off, really.
Right. Well, the diet's going to help calm the parasites down. It helps starve them out of your body, is what I think. And the baths help get them out of your skin, and then you can start fighting the environment. Okay. So it's a three-pronged thing.
The two chapters that are most applicable are Chapter 3, which talks about how to disinfect your environment, how to clean your skin, and Chapter 4, which is actually the diet. It gives you all the details about the diet. And then most importantly, Tyler, if you got the email that went out that announced this program, there was a questionnaire. Complete that questionnaire and send it in, and I'll give you fast track. In other words, you could read through the whole book and put together the complete protocol from each chapter of what is important to do, or I can look at the answers to a questionnaire and put it together very concisely for you very quickly. It still is a lot of information, but it's a fast track. Now, the thing about our store, my purpose or my goal, in 2013, the only product we started with, the only product was the debriding soap, and it was so well accepted and so effective that since then we now have over 150 products in the store. The purpose of the store is a one-place stop, rather than having to find things from 10 different websites or 15 where you have to sign in and register and passwords. It's a one-stop place. But nobody has to buy anything from me. I mean, the book is free. The diet is free. I don't even charge you for stage 2 of the diet. You'll be so happy with stage 1, you'd be glad to pay $100 for stage 2. It's free. It's all free. The book is free. All that's free. You're welcome to find other products out there that'll do the same thing, or take advantage of the store that we have that has everything in it that you could possibly want, except food. You're going to be going to the grocery store and buying food, and that's where you're going to be reading the labels if you buy any packaged food. If you like bacon, for instance, well, you can have low-sodium bacon. That has low sugar, no sugar, and so that would be like the only kind of bacon you could have. But you can have turkey, you can have ham, as long as it's not cured.
Or a lot of fish, right?
You don't want the sugar. You don't want the molasses. Chapters 4 and 3 are where to start. And then if you complete the questionnaire, I can target you. We have a Columbella pack. It's also called the Lyme pack, Lyme disease pack, but it has the basic essentials. And then if you, from the questionnaire, you'll tell me whether you have filaments or fibers or find cotton-like substance, then that rings the bell about Morgellons, and then it has the targeted supplements for dealing with Morgellons. So all that can be made easily available to you once you complete the questionnaire.
Okay, I'm definitely going to. I did see that, and I definitely have to do that. Thank you.
You're welcome. And keep coming back. Regard this as your lifeline. I mean,
absolutely.
We go usually
I've
about
been
2
on-
hours, and we give everybody the opportunity to ask questions. We hopefully will text in like you did so that we can open a line and you're not disturbed by other people having feedback in the background or talking in the background, and we can hear you clearly.
No,
So
yeah,
thank you for your feedback and call.
No problem.
Okay, anyone else text in?
Not yet. Oh, wait. Okay.
Hello?
So, yes?
Hi, this
Go
is
ahead.
Carrie. Hello to everybody. I've been calling in and out when I can. I just had a couple of questions. I want to thank you for even having this forum, because for me it's been almost 2.5 years. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question about the ozone machine. I have 2 ozone machines, and I have a car that I cannot even get in. So I used to ozone the car every 2 hours, and then I would cut it off for like maybe an hour, and then I would go back and do it every 2 hours. Sometimes I would do it for 3 or 4 days, but I have never been able to actually get in the car and feel comfortable. I always feel like a cape is over me, like something is covering my whole body. And usually it takes about a month to get straight when I come out of that car. So I have a question about the ozone first. So can you give me some help with that?
Well, I would say that the ozone is not working. Actually, if you've been ozoning your car that much, you've been putting it in jeopardy. You might be you're taking a chance of messing up the electronics and ruining some things that make the car work. So it doesn't look like ozone. I don't know, do you know if you're dealing with mites or columbella? Did you send in the questionnaire to get an assessment?
Yes, I did send in a questionnaire, and I think I have Morgellons. I do have blue fibers. That was another question that I had because I purchased the black light, and it was because I actually moved from one place to another and infected both places. So excuse me for my emotions right now.
Well, do you know if you're dealing with mites, or when you get in a car, do you feel things jumping on you? Is it columbella? Do you feel them from your face?
I feel them around my legs.
Around your legs?
Yeah.
All right, that's an indication of columbella, or a mite that doesn't fly. So you might, you might do a flea bomb. Just get regular flea bombs and do that a few days. Now, when you did the ozone, did you do it every day?
I did the ozone. I did the ozone twice since I've had the ozone machines. One time I did it for 20 days straight. I ran it for probably 30 minutes every single day. And because I don't drive,
the ozone should be run for 21 days straight, but 20 should definitely have made a difference.
Yeah, it didn't make sense at all. It was just
Richard,
like.
Can I say something?
Yes, Robin's got some experience she can share.
So, I found that if I only run an ozone machine for half an hour, it just pushes the parasites to the next room or somewhere else in the car. And I found that ozone is not nearly as effective by itself as it is if you use it with a pesticide or some kind of spray.
Okay.
And so I have had the same issue with my car, and the first time I had it, spraying an ozone got it clear in just 2 weeks. The car wasn't bad. This time, my car is really infested with springtails, and I have been spraying pesticide, flea bombing, and then ozoning for a couple hours once a week. And then I've stopped ozoning, and I'm spraying daily with an enzyme cleaner and Garden Safe Fungicide 3, which is 70% neem oil. It's an organic pesticide. And I can literally see, because when the springtails die, they are like little, very thin white strands. And
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm wiping them. I'm spraying with Garden Safe Fungicide 3 kills springtails.
Okay.
And I'm wiping it off and then spraying it once or twice a day everywhere. And the other thing is that, and I'm flea bombing once a week, which also gets inside everything. But, you know, they tell you, now I'm not going to say you should do this. Like, don't do this at home. But I have been flea bombing my car with 6 flea bombs because one did nothing. It just like pushed them from the back seat to the front seat. So I have flea bombs on the front seats, on the floors, in the way back, and things are dying like crazy. It's just that it was so infested. It's actually finally, after a month of doing this, it's getting better. And I think it's the Garden Safe Fungicide 3 that's pushing it over the top. You can get it at Home Depot or Walmart or Amazon. It's a concentrate with a purple cap. You use one capful in like 32 ounces of water, spray it on, leave it for a little bit, and then wipe it off, especially on the dashboard and above the dash and where air blows out. Spray it in there. It really has been incredibly helpful for me. I'm starting to be hopeful, whereas I was very discouraged.
If you're using any sprays in the car, you want to turn on your air circulating system and have it go through the air system as well to clean it out.
Good point.
I presume you've already tried basic ammonia in the car?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, all right, then you're up to what Robin's talking about is really getting aggressive with some other stuff.
No, I just want to ask you this about the bombs because 6 of them, wow. But I did see something about an IGR regulator. Is this something that I need to look into with the? Well,
in the book I call it the triple pesticide, but it's not 3 pesticides. It's 3 ingredients. IGR is one of the ingredients. It's a growth hormone regulator. There's also you can get this stuff from Do Your Own Pest Control or DoMyOwnPestControl.com, and the 3 things are the exponent and the IGR regulator, and what's the third? Onslaught. You put those 3 together in maybe a capful in about 6 of each in about 16 ounces of water, shake it up, and that's another approach. But you do that once every 11 days.
But I would try that before you go to the flea bombs. I mean, I only went to flea bombing because I have very resistant stuff, and if you do the triple pesticide, what I found is initially when I would spray, they would attack me, like it stirs them up. So if you're going to spray, you want to wear a mask, you want to wear goggles, you want to wear something on your hair so that they can't get it at you. And it takes about, for me with the triple pesticide, it took 4 months of doing it every 11 days, like clockwork. Okay, this time I wasn't having much results, so I moved on to flea bombs and other things.
Yeah, I think if you're doing the triple pesticide, you don't only want to do it. You want to do it every 11 days, and then you want to do the flea bombs and ammonia or the fungicide 3. Or we have in the store, we have Mediclean, Benefactor, Disinfectant, so you want to do those daily. So in our store we have 2 different disinfectants, the Mediclean and the Benefect. The Benefect is an organic, thyme-based disinfectant that is non-toxic, non-lethal to anything but bugs. And the Mediclean is a chemical version, which you really don't want to be inhaling or handling with your hands.
Okay. From the store, I purchased something that I put into my my sprayer that it's supposed to have, when you spray it, it dries and it makes it hard for them to walk around. And I did
That's the antimicrobial.
Okay. I did that in the car.
Right.
Yeah, you should do that. But a disinfectant daily.
I lay my clothes on the bed and just spray them, and then I have the one for the washing machine. So
right.
That has helped. But I do want to say, because I know all of us are trying so many different things, I've gotten really, really sick twice, where I think that I might have not have woken up the next day if I wouldn't have been thinking, messing with these pesticides. One time in the shower, I couldn't get out, and I was vomiting and pooping at the same time, and I couldn't ask for help. And another time, I sprayed, and I walked in the room, and I felt like I was going to sleep, and I wasn't going to wake up. But just to put it out there, these things that we're using, we have to really be careful.
You got to be really careful. Always wear a mask. Don't come back in until the house is aired out.
Yeah.
The benefect is, unless you're allergic to thyme, it's really non-toxic. But the Mediclean is a chemical, and you really don't want to be breathing it. And you really don't want to be breathing the ozone if you're running the ozone generator. So, yes, you do want to be careful.
And the Garden Safe 3 is a non-toxic organic pesticide also.
Yeah. The other one, the garden, it's a neem with the fungicide. That's the one that actually made me sick. That's the one that I sprayed it in the room, and when I went to take a shower that night, I really felt like I wasn't going to make it the next day or that night. But I stayed in the shower and just let the water run on me because I couldn't. But I don't want to.
Well, you probably have some sensitivity to neem oil then in vapor or whatever else is there because, like I said, if you're not allergic.
Neem has a strong smell, and a lot of people react to it, but springtails hate it. So I don't know if there's a way you can do it and then air a place out so you aren't affected.
Yeah, I don't mess with neem oil. I've had enough of that one. But I do have two more things to ask you about. One is pool shock. I actually didn't know what pool shock was and just happened to be out. I went to a pool place, and I went inside, and I got the little package, and I just wanted to know how to use it. I didn't it was between meetings, so what I ended up doing is I actually mopped the floor with it, and I kind of liked it. Using just a little of it. How do you use it?
It's chlorine-based, so it's sort of like using bleach. Now, you have the powdered form?
Yes, I do.
Robin has experience. I don't have experience with a powder form.
I wouldn't use a chlorine-based thing on the floors only because chlorine makes teeny tiny holes in things, and it gives places for parasites to burrow. I would use a different kind of disinfectant, like the one Richard has in his store, or I have been using Zep commercial grade Quick Clean, which doesn't have a smell to it.
Yeah,
it's like but it is chemical. I use Cool Shock in the wash. I mix it, I dissolve it. I use like a quarter cup of enzyme cleaner or Richard's laundry enzyme, which I love, and then I add a teaspoon of powdered Pool Shock to it, dissolve it. Because otherwise, if you don't dissolve it, it will leave spots on your clothes. And it really works really well on clothes, in addition to an ammonia pre-soak and borax in the wash and ammonia and peppermint oil on dryer sheets in the dryer.
For your floor, you might try our degreaser. We have a degreaser in the store that you can use for your floor or countertops or anything to clean. So you might try that. You could add in ammonia if you wanted to.
Now, it's kind of crazy that we're talking about this Pool Shock because for some reason my sheets have not been affected. One of the things I actually put in the wash was by accident Himalayan salt. So that I don't know. So many things we go through. But I just want to tell you about one other thing. I bought a black light, and it was because my mom was moving, and I wanted to see and make sure that there was not, like, stuff on the walls. They say you can use a black light. So I just happened to use the black light on myself. And it made me crazy. For some reason, my hair had 1 million blue fibers in it. Can you tell me if that's part of this? All over my skin is blue fibers, every inch of me.
Well, the filaments and fibers, according to Dr. Saverly, are an indication of Morgellons. I don't know about them being seen under a black light, but I know fluorescent. They are fluorescent, they're supposedly.
Yes. Some of them were actually as bright yellow as
and they can be very tiny. They can be almost microscopic, but where you actually need to use a 30-power scope to actually see them. So, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That's
okay, because my hair was full of blue fibers, like if I had been in a yarn factory, and some of them were neon yellow. And
do you have a lot of activity in the scalp, itching and things of that? Yes.
Well, not really. When I first started all of this, before I got to you, I used to take lemon juice and strain it, and I used to put that in my hair and wash my hair. And I don't have a lot of itching in my hair. And like I said, that was one of the things for my hair. And then it was kind of ironic. I do sleep good now because of Himalayan salt. So, I just picked up the pool shock, which my mop with, and it kind of helped a little bit. I was just kind of shocked. So things is happening, but like I don't have a lot of those symptoms. I don't have a lot of itchy symptoms. It's just stuff I'm finding, and things on my skin and in my clothes. And then, like
and you're
I said,
good with the diet?
Yes, I'm on the diet.
Okay,
yes.
Good.
Yes, but I've infected 2 places where I go in and I can feel those things jumping on me. So I was on a call with you not too long ago, and you was talking about how it takes, when we going through all these things, we get anxiety, and we stop thinking. I am one of the most creative people in the world. And when I heard you say that, I was thinking, you are absolutely right. We go through this depression. It's like we stop finding ways to be creative and to get rid of this stuff. So after that call, like I said, I just happened
I'm
to be
glad
out.
you pointed that out, because that is absolutely what happens when we get stressed out. We've got, those emotions, it totally wipe out creativity. Our intelligence drops. You may as well walk around with a dollar with a signpost on your head. Depression alert.
Yes. So like I said, things that you already talked about, they just wasn't in my head. But like I said, certain things like pool shock, the items from your store, the microbial, I was numb. I was literally numb. But like I said, this is 2.5 years. I am married. My husband don't believe that he believes that I'm mentally ill, but he's trying to be supportive. Yeah, because we're both medical and we both worked in the medical field. He don't see how this could be possible, but I pray every day.
What is your background? Nurse?
Radiology.
Radiology? Okay.
Radiology, yes. So I've seen a lot of things, especially in surgery and ER, but I've never, ever heard of what I'm going through now. Never. And it's from a pigeon's nest. I got some pigeons on my body. I was on the house, and my life changed forever.
Yeah.
So if you text me later, I can and give me your email address, I can send you some documents that might help with your husband.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Have you given him a copy of Dr. Saverly's book?
He's just not. He's into the Bible, and I'm into the Bible also. I read every day, but he just cannot believe that this happened. And he's from a different country, which is kind of crazy.
Well, he needs to read Job.
Say it again?
Right.
Job.
I didn't understand you, Richard.
Job. The book of Job.
Oh,
the book of
Job. Yes. Okay. I will. That I can do. I can let him know. Yes.
That's the extreme pestilence. Maybe it was Morgellons.
Well,
never know. That could be.
It's been a journey.
And God does give us creative solutions, I believe.
Yes.
He helps. And there's a reason he allows us to walk through this. I never thought I would say this, but, I'm grateful for my experience with Morgellons because I have been able to help other people and be part of a community, and I'm really grateful for that,
Thank you for that.
So
I was lost for about 6 or 7 months. I was like, this is not happening. I've done all the things. I went to the doctor. I took the samples. They laughed at me. I just kept going and going and going. Then I started doing my research, and then I met you guys. And then I couldn't stay most of the time because my phone, I can't be on my phone long because my phone, I have itching all of my arm, all under my arm, on my face. Sometimes, now that COVID is going on, this happened to me. Now I feel better. Everybody's in isolation, but I already had the face shield, the mask, and
it sounds like you might be EMF sensitive.
Yes. Let me tell you what else happened. I bought these magnetic bracelets, and I woke up to 2 things that came out of my arm and caused my arm to bleed, but I thought it was a bed bug. So I see this blood in the bed, and I'm looking all around, and then I put my arm in a certain position, and then you know how you look in the bed, and then I looked at my arm, and I had these 2 holes in my arm that something came out of.
Wow.
Like, wow. So now I do wear magnetic bracelets. Yes.
And
so can you tell me about EMF? I don't want to take up all the calls.
Well, EMF is an important topic, and there are fabrics that you can buy on eBay. In fact, I just bought one. I haven't opened it up yet. It's about 2 yards by 30 inches, and you can cut. You should cover if you have what is the device that we use
the
for
modems?
the modems? Yes, you can cover your modem with it because according to an update I put out a couple weeks ago, Dr. Klingert was interviewed for 5G Summit, and one of our listeners, Andrea, was gracious enough to listen to these summit videos and compile a summary of them. And one of the issues is that 3G, which is the modems, is a problem. And I got one sitting right behind me, and I got the fabric. I'm going to cut it and cover it with it. And so there are different things that you need to look into, and we're looking into it now, and follow the updates I send out on the 5G Summit for different tips. In fact, I found that one of the things that 3G does is that it slows down the blood cells. It makes them sticky. And, from years ago when I first became interested in the ionic minerals that we handle, I learned of what is called the Rouleau effect. I'm not sure, ROLEAU effect. And this is the tendency for red blood cells to clump together. And when they clump together, they don't carry as much oxygen. So you're more likely to have all kinds of health problems, particularly heart problems. So the 3G causes your red blood cells to be sticky and clump together. The ionic minerals with a pH of like 10.5 actually breaks up those clumps, which is fantastic. And the glutathione, the Max 1 glutathione accelerator that I recommend boost your glutathione significantly. And one of the benefits of boosting glutathione is that it increases your ability for the hemoglobin, the red blood cells, to carry oxygen. So it's good news. I mean, it's like we have part of the solution at our hand, but I don't know too much about the 5G yet. That's a big mysterious thing.
Well, I just want to say the glutathione, since I've been on it, I've been like, I feel like a whole new person. I'm a crafter. Also, I'm a glass artist. I fuse glass. When this happened, I threw away, not my glass stuff. That's what my husband said. I know you're not that sick because you didn't throw away your kilns and your glass. But I did have to throw away my, I threw away 100% of my clothes, shoes, and everything. One thing I want to tell you is that, like I told you, I infested two houses, if I'm saying that right. When I was in the room, the last house I was in, I actually had the modem in the room with me, and it was hell. Now that I'm in a different house, I refuse to have that modem in this room with me. Actually, I put a TV in here yesterday, and I'm thinking about taking it back out. It's so mild without any electronics around. I do have an iPhone 11. I keep it on a table. I spray Lysol, and I dust it with diatomaceous earth. But, yeah, EMF, you said? Electromagnetic force. Yes, it's a big difference for me sleeping and living in the same room. When I got up and go to the bathroom at night, there was no way I could go back to sleep because there was so many things that had caught onto my skin, which I actually take DE now and powder down, which stops that. But instead of putting it on the floor, I actually powder myself. I dust my sheets, and then I cover the whole bed and go on my day. But yes, EMF I had a good feeling about that because of the fact that I now see the difference. It's very mild now, and before it was like walking through a forest. So
right.
I'm going to have to read up on
diatomaceous earth, DE, is one of the most underused substances that's there. You can dust it, you can spray it, you can consume it for internal parasites. It's incredible, and it's inexpensive. For anybody on this call, if you have a choice as to whether you have 5G or not, do not go to 5G. Do not.
Yes, I understand that now. Yes. Okay, well, thank you so much. Like I said, I've been with you guys for a while, and I have to get off my phone and stay away from it. But one more thing, Richard, because you talked about these little sachets that they have in furniture or they have in a purse. They absorb moisture. Do you remember talking about that?
No, I don't. The only thing the sachets are the ionic minerals that we have. They come in sachets.
Okay, I think someone talked about it. It's little packages that come like when you buy a purse and you get the moisture pack out. When you buy certain electronics, moisture pack.
We talked about menthol crystals, putting things in a bag with menthol crystals. It could be your jewelry, your keys, your wallet, to disinfect.
These little sachets are gem because right now I'm holding one in my hand and it's on top of my phone. That seems to help me. When I put my phone on my charger, I have that on the table. You talked about this a long time ago, and I used to throw them away. But when my mom bought a furniture, so these are huge. They cover the inside of the palm of my hand. I don't know. I was going to ask you, why is this so effective, or for me with electronics? So I'm starting to put them.
I'm still at loss as to what you're referring to in terms of the sachet.
You know what I'm talking about, Robin? They come in your furniture. They come in purses.
Yeah, they're just little things. I don't know what they do, but I did want to say that they sell EMF protection cases for cell phones and tablets.
I have the little disc on my phone.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the little things that you can stick on. I'm talking about an actual case that blocks out 98% of the EMF radiation. And all you have to do is do a search on Amazon for EMF protection for cell phone, and a bunch of cases will come out. I think they range in price from like $30 to $50, and you can even, some of them are rated. So I would suggest looking for that. if the little things you stick on the phone aren't working, then go for the complete case, and it'll make a difference.
You know, when you put your phone in your purse, or I never put my phone on my body, but when I put it in my purse,
and I never hold it close to me. When I always use I always talk far away from it. But I'm just saying there's anti-radiation cell phone cases that make a huge difference, and they've been actually measured. You could even do a search for the best EMF protection for cell phones, and you'll get websites that go into telling you about it.
And you can also get the covers already made for your modem as well. They're about $30 or so that you can put on, or the fabric that you can buy.
The 3G is supposed to be phased out this year, and I don't know what'll happen after that. Well,
we don't know.
I'm going to say this last thing, and then I'm going to let someone else share, because I love to listen to you share. There was, when this kind of happened, I went to a shopping center, and they had thousands of plants of aloe vera. And I used to have a problem with my phone. I put it in my purse and take it out, and then it'd be on my hand, and then I could feel it on my face. But this day I stole some aloe vera and put it in my purse, and I keep aloe vera slices in my purse, in my drawers, in my clean clothes, in my bins, So have you ever heard of that? What aloe vera can?
Well, yeah, aloe vera is one of the ingredients in our Super MSM gel. It's incredible, and that Super MS gel is probably one of the best things that you could ever use on your skin. It replenishes your skin with organic sulfur and has NG in it, has diatomaceous earth. It's fantastic stuff.
I have your stuff, but I didn't know aloe vera was in it. But I cut up aloe. It's in my head cap at night because I cover my head. It's in my pillowcases. I always keep a stalk of aloe vera, so everyone's like, "Why is she doing that?" And then when I'm in the street and I see it, I'll cut it. I'll keep a knife in my little bag, a little plastic knife, and I'll slice some aloe vera. Mm-hmm. So I just want to tell you,
you're the aloe vera thief.
I'm the guy. But if you stick it in your, because I know.
When we see somebody on Facebook looking for the aloe vera thief, we know where to send them.
Yes. Well, when I had my biggest breakdown, I was in a car on the freeway, and the parasites was all over me. I was hunched over in the car, and I wanted to jump out. I wanted to jump out the car on the freeway, and I didn't understand what was happening to me. So now, anything that helps me, I will do it. But like I said, I've really made some really costly mistakes that could have cost me my life. And I know that it could have cost me my life. I know. So listening to you guys and just having a line, just come and talk. And sometimes I don't want to talk. I just want to listen. I just want to thank you for that, because it's been a long road, a scary road. But I know we can get through this, because positive things are happening to me. And I'm going to get back into my glass, because that is something that made me very happy. And I'm retired now. So when I do things and I get up in the morning and I say, this is what I'm going to do. Before it was, I'm not getting off this bed because I don't want to deal with it. So I
want to thank you very, very much for sharing. It's been very enlightening. And one of our goals here, and it sounds like we're achieving it, is to convert that frustration, aggravation, and those terrible feelings that you felt when you wanted to jump out of the car to inspiration. And that's what we're here for, because we've all been through it. We all wanted to, end our lives at some point or other because of the misery.
Yeah. And my breathing techniques, Richard, I love them. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Have a great day. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks.
You too.
Richard, I have another question from AC. She wants to know how you know when to move from stage 1 to stage 2 of the diet.
Basically, I kept a diary, and I would rate myself every day 0 to 6. 6 was when I was at as much parasitic activity as possible. One was when I was completely clear. And when I get down to where I thought was 0.5 and be there for about maybe 2 or 3 days, then I would venture to one of the foods on stage 2. You have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think that when you don't have a lot of bites and lesions and you're sleeping through the night and you can sit places in your house without getting attacked, you could start adding foods one at a time, but you definitely want to keep a diary. You want to wait 3 days in between adding things. I always think the first foods to add are like green apples, maybe bananas, red potatoes, and go really slow.
Thank you. Any other questions? Anybody text Chris? Nope. Okay, well, looks like...
Hi, this is Oksana. I have a question.
Yes.
Actually, Robin, I was listening that you were saying something about the neem oil spray in the house with that, and that was really effective. What is that something you bought already mixed, or you mixed it yourself, or could you repeat that information?
I found that myself because I found that neem oil kills a lot of parasites and insects, and then so I tried it. I found that, but you know, we just had someone talking who said they had a reaction to Garden Safe Fungicide 3 neem oil. And I've talked to a couple of people who can't stand the smell and can't use it. But this is not something you put on your skin. What I was talking about was for the environment. I do use organic neem oil on my skin. I mix it with coconut oil, peppermint oil, clove oil, and tea tree oil. And I rub it all over my body after the bath and until things start coming out. But for the environment, I bought Garden Safe Fungicide and the number 3. It has a purple cap. It's a concentrate. It's for organic gardening, and it's 70% neem oil. So I don't know what the other 30% is. All I know is the stuff worked for me. And I took 1 capful in a 28-ounce spray bottle with water, and I would spray the whole house with it top to bottom. When I had in my electrostatic sprayer, I would make a quart pitcher, and I would add a 1/4 cup of enzyme cleaner, like Richard's enzyme cleaner or Clean Green, and I would add a capful. Huh?
I'm confused. So one cup of the neem oil and 28 ounces of water, or that's just the
that's just the Fungicide 3, Garden Safe Fungicide 3, and I would spray that on. That works really well with springtails. I had things I thought I was going to have to throw out, and I focused on those things with it, and I actually got them clear. I also created a house spray using an enzyme cleaner where it was like a 1/4 cup of enzyme cleaner and a capful of Fungicide 3 and a quart of water. And I used it with an electrostatic sprayer. If you don't have a sprayer, you can use it with a regular sprayer. But if you use it in an electrostatic sprayer, you want to clean it with really hot water afterwards, because neem oil gets thick when it's cold, and and it will clog a sprayer up. I have another question here about how you.
Thank you.
What attracts? Yeah, you're welcome. What attracts columbola to your eyes, and how can you stop the burning feeling? So I don't know. They always go for my eyes. Whenever I'm cleaning or doing something, they go right for my eyes. So if I'm going to be cleaning or spraying, I will put Vaseline all around my eyes, and I'll wear goggles. Okay? If they attack me and I didn't do that, then I start an intense Vaseline and colloidal silver eye wash every 20 minutes. And it could take, I mean, if I catch it right away, it'll take 1 day. If I don't catch it right away, it can take up to 3 days to stop it. But I don't know, some people, that for me, it's always my eyes that they go for. But my eyes are clear, and I just have to be aware that as I'm disinfecting my house, and my car, they're going to go for my eyes. I don't know why, but that's, the other thing is when you're getting your hair clear, unless you put a barrier, they're going to go out of your hair and into your eyes. So, but it's the same treatment, same thing that I just said. I hope that helps. Anybody else have a question for Richard or me? Hello?
Did anyone need to know scalp protocol?
Oh, Ethel, you should go over that, definitely.
Okay, I have it right here. Look, I think. Yeah. Okay, if anybody's having any scalp issues, and that's usually a big issue with us, you make a mixture in the palm of your hand with some Nature's Gift shampoo, regular or foaming, and some of the Super MSM gel, Claudia's Dream Cream, and a few drops of peppermint, a clove, or whatever oil you like. Mites don't like essential oils, especially they don't like the clove oil. Just mix all of that together and massage that into your hair and put on a shower cap overnight to keep it from drying out. Wash and clean your hair in the morning and repeat this 2 times during the day, and do this daily for several days. And as you get better, reduce, to 2 times until you don't have to do it anymore. And all of those things, the Nature's Gift shampoo, the Super MSM gel, and the Claudia's cream, those are all in the store, as well as some of the essential oils. So all of that can be gotten there.
Thank you.
So I hope that's helpful.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's a good
great.
thing. And it also helps to, comb out your hair. I mean, the shorter your hair, the better. And, remove after you've showered or whatever and washed your hair, to comb it out to get the junk out of your hair, and then disinfect whatever you're combing your hair with to make sure you don't recontaminate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, and more importantly too, is to make sure your pillow, wherever you have your hair, if you sit in a high back chair, make sure that area is well disinfected. Make sure your pillow is well disinfected at night.
Right.
What I did was actually buy some of those the cases to dip my pillow in, and I bought a bunch of cheap pillowcases, so I just change it every night, and that way, I don't have to worry about did I get those off of there or not. So that could be helpful as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else have any questions or would like to share? Chris, is the phone lines open to everybody? Are the phone lines open to everyone?
Chris?
I'm going to open now.
Okay. All right, we'll go for a free-for-all now. Anyone like to share or ask a question?
I have a question about the little white specks that is this a live thing or a dead thing, or Is this how it
Well,
gets passed?
Probably if they're not moving, they're probably dead.
Okay.
And what they are is hard to say. It depends on the size. They could be, and the appearance. Could be like dead specks of columbella, or it could be some mite or something. It's hard to say. From our point of view, we don't really care what it is. We just want to deal with it and clean it and disinfect it and get it out of our lives.
Okay. And then also I need to get connected to somebody from the store. It doesn't have to be today, but so I can put in an order. My electronics aren't working well.
Sure. Do you have a pencil and paper handy?
Yeah.
All right. You can call Chris at 732-531-1178.
Okay.
And he'll be in tomorrow after 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Okay. I have to go into Portland, but I'll call when I get back. Or maybe I'll call first thing in the morning.
Well, that's Eastern Time, so that would be like 12 o'clock your time.
Okay.
Okay.
So I won't be able to call until afternoon or...
Wait a minute, Eastern Time, 6 o'clock your time. Well, he's in at 6 o'clock your time. I got the... all right.
Yeah.
Okay, we're 3 hours ahead of you.
Yeah. Okay, great. I'll look forward to talking to them tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else like to share or ask a question?
Yes, me, Marie, Richard.
Hi.
Hi, Richard. Okay, there's several questions. I'll start with the first one. Okay, I live in this old house. I rent. I'm not an owner. And you know, when you say clean your environment, that is so important. Besides, you know, your body. Well, what I discovered is when I look at the bottom of the ceilings, the baseboard, it's like black, and I thought it was dirt, but I think that it's black mold. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, with black mold, it could cause, what do you call it, condemnation? How do you say that? Do you know what I mean? Condemnations, like little particles that are not good.
I'm not sure. Are you asking about how to clean it?
Well, what I wanted to ask is, if I get the ozone, will that clear it out?
No, it has to be actually cleaned. Depending on how severe it is, it should be cleaned by professionals. With mold, you never use chlorine or bleach, as most people think. The best would be to clean it with ammonia, and then you have to determine whether or not you need to have professionals come in and do it. Depending on what type of mold it is, you'd want to wear a respirator. You know, if you're going to clean it, I would spray it first with the spray it before you make it wet, so it's not going to get stirred up and be airborne. You don't want to breathe in mold.
Okay. And the second thing is, you know, you spray the one that's not, I think it's around $80. I want to order that. What's that called?
Well, I'm not sure what you mean.
$80?
It was some type of, a couple of weeks ago, it was some type of thing. You say you can spray it on your carpet, you can spray it everywhere. What is that? I don't know what that's called.
No, it's more like $800, the electrostatic sprayer.
Well, there's electrostatic sprayer, which is more of a sophisticated type of way. It's better than fogging because it puts an electronic charge. I'm not sure if you're talking about a device or if you're talking about a product.
Yeah, it was something recently that you said that you now have it in your store.
Oh, yes, it's back. That's the electrostatic sprayer.
And that's how much?
I think $850. It like went up $100 from last March.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to have to wait to get my taxes to buy that. All right. Thank you.
You may be able to do better with just an aggressive spraying with the regular 32-ounce spray bottle.
Okay. All right. Until I get my taxes. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Anyone else like to share or ask a question? Well, how about some happy cells?
That sounds good.
Let's do some happy cells. Our goal is to make all our cells happy. And while Robin's doing her happy cell song, if anybody can think of the joke for the day that's not lewd, but good for mixed company, we'll entertain that later on. So let's do the happy cell song.
All right. I will sing it through once, and then, if you guys know it already, then sing along, and if you don't, sing it the second time round. It's really easy, okay? So here we go. All my cells are healthy and happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well. All my cells are healthy and happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well. My cells are healthy and my cells are happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well. My cells are healthy and my cells are happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well. All my cells are healthy and happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well. All my cells are healthy and happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well. My cells are healthy and my cells are happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well. My cells are healthy and my cells are happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well.
Yay! Hey, now, you've got to watch the video, because if you see a lady driving down the street and doing what Robin has been doing, you'll know who she is, because she's singing her song as she's driving down the street. It's a good song to sing anytime, as opposed to be gloom and doom. So get into doing your tapping, your singing, and anybody think of a good joke they like to share? We like to laugh too, because Norman Cousins wrote a book all about laughter being part of the healing process. So find a YouTube channel or something that has your genre of humor and make it a regular thing every day. Stay away from Facebook, not too much to laugh at there. Okay, anyone? Nobody?
I can share a joke, Richard.
Okay, Chris has a joke. Okay,
a lot of men were dying here in the earth, and they reached the heaven, and they saw angels.
What was it? Wait, I didn't get that. What?
The people who died here, they were reaching heaven.
They went to heaven?
They went to heaven, yes.
Okay, people who died go to heaven, okay.
So when they're in heaven, the angels were asking everybody, okay, guys, everybody who listened to your wife when you were in the earth, just to make a line here. And anybody who did not listen to your wife when you were in earth, make a line here. So the line which said, I listened to my wife when I was in heaven, in earth, was a long line. And there was only one guy standing there where it says that I didn't listen to my wife. So the angel asked him, hey, do you know what is this line for? He said, I don't know. My wife asked me to stand here.
Thank you, Chris. All right.
Here's one. You probably heard this. Never criticize someone until you have walked a mile in their shoes. That way, when you criticize them, you'll be a mile away and you'll have their shoes.
Yeah, if they're good shoes, right? Adidas are worth $500.
After you.
Can't believe the cost of some of these shoes. So, that's great.
Huh.
Well, there was a psychologist doing a value study, and he had a child about 10 or 11 years of age that was from a well-to-do family, and he put him in this room with a whole bunch of toys, all the top-of-the-line toys, the most modern computer games and everything, and he left them alone. And he took this other child who was from the less fortunate, from the ghetto, and put him in a room with a whole bunch of crappy toys. And left him alone for 20 minutes. He comes back and he walks in the room with a child with a well-to-do background with all the great toys, and the kid's just sitting there, bored. So the psychologist says, "Hey, why are you just sitting here bored like this?" The kid says, I thought you had something different, something new. This is nothing new. There's nothing different here, So he went over to the other room where the kid was less fortunate and had all these broken toys. And this kid's going through all these toys, and he's excited, and the psychologist just can't understand this. All these broken toys, and this kid's so excited. And so he asked him, Why does it seem that you're so excited? And the kid said, with all this crap around here, there's got to be something good somewhere, and I'm going to find it.
Gotta be.
That's good.
So remember that, because we got a lot of crap around us.
That's good.
Okay. Anyone else have anything to share before we close, or questions? The lines are open to everybody now. Okay, I want to thank Robin. We're going to do phone numbers in a little while after we stop recording. I want to thank Robin for participating as my co-host. I couldn't have a better co-host. She's went through it all, even to a greater degree than I had. I want to thank Chris for handling the technical aspects of the program, Ethel for doing the greeting and her doodles. Do give her an email and name that doodle that's up for now. The first two updates I put it out, it was sideways. Now it's right side up. I don't know. Artists do things differently, so I thought maybe it was supposed to be sideways. I want to thank Barbara for being our buddy coach. We'll give out that information in a little bit. And Sandra for being our other coach, who has pretty well got her life back, and she's pretty busy living it right now. We don't hear too much from her. So thank you, everybody. I love you all. Keep coming back, and we can conclude the recording now, and we'll go to the buddy coach.
Thanks, Richard.